Three Demons, Book 2, Chapter 25, A Blank Canvas. Kazuto and Xyla continued to press forward through the winding passageways of the ruins. Each step they took was swallowed by the darkness around them despite the dim light created by Kazuto. Xyla then felt a cold chill slither down her spine, causing her to instinctively grab onto her warhammer tightly. Her senses were already on high alert, but now it's much more serious. Kazuto paused, seeing her reaction. His eyes narrowed as he felt a presence come from the shadows in front of them. Kazuto's heart raced as the presence he felt sent shivers down his spine. He recognized that feeling from anywhere. Fallen angel. He spoke quietly, but just loudly enough for Xyla to hear him as well. A figure then emerged from the shadows into the range of light, a small, slouched appearance, a black hoodie with the hood up and wearing a white face mask, the only thing visible on his face being his eyes, the color of which were as dark as the shadows behind him. His hands were kept in his hoodie pockets as he walked forward, his gaze not leaving Kazuto and Xyla. He lifted one of his hands out from his hoodie pocket and points at Xyla. "You have a couple things I want." His voice was quiet and timid. However, there was a clear malice behind it all. Kazuto stands in front of Xyla, something that would irritate her normally, but the fallen angel's presence in front of them is causing her to keep focus on him out of caution. "First, who the hell are you?" Kazuto asked, trying to buy some time to think of a strategy. "I've been designated as Blank." Blank responded to Kazuto, placing his hands back into his pockets as his stare remained unchanged. Xyla then leaped at Blank, her warhammer in prime position to strike. "I don't have time to play your games, Fallen One." She slammed her warhammer into the ground and a puff of debris and smoke filled the area around her. As the smoke cleared, she noticed Blank was not where he was before. Her eyes widened as she looked around her, only to find Blank behind her. She gritted her teeth out of frustration and began flailing her warhammer towards Blank wildly as he dodged every attack. "Stop swinging your warhammer like that! You won't be able to hit him if you keep letting yourself be easy to read." Kazuto instructed loudly as he leaped into action himself. Kazuto slammed his hand onto the ground, causing bones to form out of the ground and wrap around Blank's body like thorns, leaving him trapped as Xyla goes to swing her warhammer down onto the fallen angel. "Color distortion," Blank muttered as the yellowish-gray tint of Kazuto's bones began to melt away. Kazuto's eyes widen as Blank easily walks out from Xyla's path of destruction, easily snapping the bones as they had become brittle and weak. "What the hell?" Kazuto said to himself, seeing the color of his bones just vanish in front of him. "You seem surprised. I have the ability to manipulate the colors around me in any way I want. I can create, destroy, merge, anything." Blank revealed to the pair, leaving them feeling a mix of awestruck and frustration. Kazuto clenched his fist, his mind racing to find a solution. He knew he had to think quickly if he wanted to find a way out of the situation he and Xyla found themselves in. His eyes darted around the chamber, seeking any advantage they could use. Blank watched the two with an eerie calmness. It seemed as if he was relishing in their desperation. Xyla's frustration only continued to grow. She couldn't hold it back any longer, as she once again started recklessly swinging her warhammer at Blank as he graciously dodged each blow, as some of the blows even come in contact with the ruined walls as they missed him. Kazuto becomes frustrated with Xyla not waiting for a plan, but deep down he knows it's better for her to act recklessly than to sit there and let Blank attack them first. Kazuto suddenly gains a burst of inspiration. He runs up towards Blank and joins Xyla in attacking him. But Kazuto uses his hand-to-hand combat due to his bones no longer having an effect in the fight. As Kazuto grew closer to Blank, he faced an open palmed hand under where Blank was standing. "Whirlpool!" Kazuto loudly exclaimed as Blank was suddenly engulfed in a raging whirlpool, his silhouette seen from the outside of the whirlpool being thrown around like a rag doll within. Xyla then seized the opportunity and slammed her warhammer into the whirlpool, finally landing a strike onto Blank as the force of her attack caused the water to evaporate from its form, only leaving Blank in a small crater. Small bits of debris falling from the ceiling above them. Xyla and Kazuto take a moment to breathe as Blank is left lying on the ground. "We better get out of here before he gets a chance to recover," Kazuto suggests to Xyla, to which she quickly agrees, hopping back onto her feet as she walks over to Kazuto. "Yes, it would be a shame if I were to recover before you made an escape." Blank rises to his feet, akin to that of a vampire, his hands still in his pockets despite his left hoodie sleeve no longer being there. "A first draft is never the finished project. But sometimes the first draft is completely awful, that it needs a redo. An empty canvas is what's needed in those cases. Blank tells them, his eyes momentarily bloodshot red as he tells both Kazuto and Xyla in a terrifying manner. Suddenly, all of the color surrounding them melts away, leaving the scenery that of solid blacks and solid whites, not a hint of gray or any other color in sight. End of chapter 25.